Hey everybody, this is Scott Beth, Agent Mastermind. Super excited on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Welcome to Agent Mastermind. I'm here with my dear friend Amy, who is just a rock star up in Ohio. She's been dealing with a little flooding. We just had a little conversation about that. So she's doing much better today. Thank God for you, Amy, up there. So all that rain waters. So Amy has been on before. She brings a wealth of knowledge from the real estate industry, and she's just a great person all around. So she's got a great class for us, and super excited to have her back. Amy, welcome to the class. What do you have for us today, my friend?
Well, I've been on before. A year and a half ago, I launched my listing course called Sell 100% of Your Listings, and we've had we turned out a ton of master listing specialists from it. And the biggest thing that they're saying is that they now want a buyer course to take them through A to Z systems and tools to work with buyers. So I decided to put that together at the end of last year, and we had a number of agents go through it, and we're running our next live course starting March 7th. So I thought I would share a little bit about what we do in terms of our training there and give everybody today some great tools, tips, and ideas and bonus items to take home.
Awesome. So is everybody, just real quick housekeeping, does everybody see our screen, Amy's screen, where it says the ultimate buyer loyalty process? You can hear us? Okay. So much. Okay, good. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. All right, Amy, good to go. Thanks for coming back with us and bringing all your knowledge to the group, and we all appreciate it very much.
Absolutely, anytime. Sorry, I'm trying to forward. Okay. So just really quickly, I feel like if you haven't met me before, if you haven't seen anything, I just want you to understand that I do have a background in sales. This is my 13th year in real estate. I've sold 100 million in sales, over 500 homes. I have a small team, and I got a degree from the University of Kentucky in communications and psychology, which really helps with the training and the, pre-qualification and all of that. And so I just wanted you guys to know where I come from and where I got all my skills, because, there's that adage that if you can't do, you teach. But I think in real estate, it better be the exact opposite. You better know what you're doing. Or else whatever you're teaching isn't actually valid. So I just want people to know that, we sell 50 homes a year. I've got a buyer's agent. I'm the listing specialist, and, we're legit.
Too legit to quit. You do it all.
All right.
And you have two beautiful boys. So congratulations on that. Beautiful family. I
do. They're alive and well. And we just take it one day at a time with them.
Great way to put it.
Even more of a testament to wrangling buyers is wrangling kids and preparing them and future pacing them. I mean, there's a whole set of parenting tools that also apply to real estate and buyers and managing expectations and things like that. So what you see here on the screen is what is that called? A glacier?
Ice glacier, yeah.
Yeah. So the purpose of this today is to share with you that the course that I teach, the Ultimate Buyer Loyalty Process, it's a 13-hour full class. So that represents the whole ICE mass structure. But what we're going to do today is we're going to only talk about 1 hour of it, which is just the top that's tipping out the top. So I'm only going to be able to give you a little bit of information today because the course is so in-depth with content that if you're interested, you can make the decision to get more involved. However, today, I just need your permission to move as quickly as possible so that I can get you as much information or give you as many ideas, because I can't do it all today. I regret that I can't do it all, but if you do the class, you're going to get every single thing and more. So because of that, I've got a couple of bonus items that I'm going to be giving. So stay until the end. I'll give you the link, and then you can get the bonus items, because that's going to help me go through this a little bit faster and be able to give you guys some of the content that I'm sharing. So if I have permission to move quickly, let's get this show on the road.
Amen. Let's do it.
All right. So the reason why you're going to want to pay attention today is because of the story that I'm about to tell you. This is Jenny. She's my expert buyers specialist. And Jenny came to my team. She's been in real estate for over 10 years when she came to my team. And she was averaging a commission of about $40,000 a year. And so when I brought her on my team, I made her specifically a buyer specialist, and she only focused on buyers. And what I did is I required that she follow the ultimate buyer loyalty process. So what I'm going to show you today is what I required that she do, because she then was on my team and I could enforce the rules that I wanted. So she followed everything that I'm going to share with you. And here's what happened. The first year with me, she doubled her income and made $80,000 in commissions. The second year with me, she then made $120,000. And that's from making $40,000 for 10 years. This is an agent that was having, you know how they say sometimes, Scott, they're having their first year every year. Have you heard of that?
Yes. Reliving the same chapter.
And that's what I find a lot of agents are doing. And what they need are to have systems in place so that they can scale and grow and still have a life. That's what we're looking for here. So Jenny was able to get the tools that she needed. And what she said as a result is that she now makes more money. She has a lot less stress. And she's able to work with buyers that she likes. And that's what she got out of following this process. So if any agents are out there looking to increase their income, make more money, have less stress, and really work with people that they like, this is a great process to follow. Hopefully you guys think that moving your income up from 40,000 to 120 is impressive in 2 years.
Very impressive. It's awesome.
So today we're going to talk about really quickly value, 3 keys to buyer loyalty, and standards. So I'm a big fan of looking up definitions of words. And what value is the importance, worth, or usefulness of something. And what I find is that it's really important for real estate agents to demonstrate and establish value with clients so that they can be seen as an authority and be trusted and followed along as a leader, getting them through to experience success. So I'm sharing with you the definitions so that you guys kind of understand where we're going with this. My favorite value quote is, the more value you add, the more valuable you become. And when we think about being a buyer's agent, any buyer in the world can go out online and find their own properties. They can find their own listings, all of that. Anybody can. So what is it that you're doing differently as a buyer's agent to get them what they want? You're doing a lot of things in terms of negotiating and giving them your experience. So you have to demonstrate the value that you add to the process so that they feel like they need you, want you, and have to have you. And it's your job as a real estate agent to demonstrate that value. If you can't do that, you're not going to have a very good business. There's just no way around that. So how do we demonstrate value? We have to communicate what kind of experience that client is going to have with us in core categories that buyers want. And we're going to talk about that next. You'll be able to lead buyers because you're the professional, and you'll share your standards and expectations up front, and you have to have conviction for those so that you can have a smooth and consistent process. All right, so here's some core values that buyers are looking for from the 2017 it's actually a 2017 profile of home buyers and sellers that is provided from NAR. And NAR has this nice little paragraph, and it says, with tight inventory, what buyers want from their agents is help finding a home. They are looking for help negotiating the terms with price negotiations. They want to know that their real estate agent, or they get their real estate agent through referral of a friend, neighbor, or relative. They interview one agent before working with them. The most important factor was that the agent was honest and trustworthy, and that the agent's experience is there. So how do we demonstrate that to clients? We need to make sure that we're letting them know that we have all of these things. And this comes from this home buyer profile that any of us can get, and it's an amazing report. Here are some of the important skills that buyers want from their agents. Honesty and integrity at number one. So you have to demonstrate honesty and integrity. The responsiveness, number two. Knowledge of the purchase process, knowledge of the market, communication skills, negotiating skills, people skills, knowledge of the local area, and skills with technology are the top 10. And your job to demonstrate your value is to, as quickly as possible, demonstrate these things to a potential buyer so that they feel like they need you and they have to have you involved. So we do this in our course through the process of the introduction package to buyers. So we have like a 5-step package that we put together and we go over in the course. And it goes over all of those types of things so that the buyer knows immediately that we're meeting their needs, whether they realize they have them yet or not. The next opportunity here is we talk a little bit about standards. Standards are the most vital thing in moving your business forward. And this is where the rubber met the road for Jenny and really changed her business. Standards are a level or quality of attainment. And that's our little symbol for standards.
Hey, Amy, quick question coming in. So, like, do you feel like when you address all these things in a buyer packet, does that, like that, I mean, that's one step closer to addressing all their wants, like all their things going on in their head, all their questions, all this stuff. So if you address those things, it seems like that would be a great starting point, because if you're not addressing them, you could be missing out and then therefore losing the confidence, or losing, like, from the buyer's point of eyes, losing some of that stuff that they, that you've proven has been a success for other agents when addressing that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it goes back to the kid example. Tell them things in advance so that they feel like you knew it, you were preparing them. They can go back and watch it again or look at it again, but it just establishes the fact that you know what you're doing, and it makes it an authority. So when it comes up and they're like, oh yeah, she did tell me about this pre-approval situation, that's why I need to do it. I remember that now. And it's not the first time, right?
Yeah, and it also keeps you on track too, because if you have the packet and you address the packet with them, you don't miss. You don't miss some of the important things, or all the important things that are very critical to maintaining that relationship. It's one thing to get it, it's another thing to keep it.
Absolutely. And throughout the process that we do, it's important to realize that the information that you give a buyer, depending on if they're a new buyer or a repeat buyer, it's so much information that there's nothing wrong with repeating yourself in different ways, in different methods, in different styles. So we use video, we use email, we use documents, we use, face-to-face meetings. We do it all, and we're multiplying where we're sharing this information so that they get it and it makes sense to them.
Got it.
So when we talk a little bit about standards are really important to have. Standards solve problems. My friend, Coach Monica Weekly, said they do solve problems. When you're working to your wit's end and you have no time to do anything, when you put standards in place, they will define where you're going. Your clients, your buyers are going to love it that you have standards. It shows that you're a professional and that you know where the rubber meets the road, and
Absolutely.
Scott, if I was working with you to help you buy a house, wouldn't you like to know that I don't work with people that aren't pre-approved?
Standards are so, like, and I think those are like minimum standards, and like you have to, like, once you let people know that you have, little things that you will and won't do, and you can put. I love that. I love knowing what the boundaries are and how, like, what exactly I'm going to get. So it's a huge thing.
Yeah. And Scott, let's say you were counting on me to find you a house. And
Right.
I said to you, hey, Scott, we got to do this, this, and this. And then you're my VIP buyer. And when you see a house you want to see, we are there as fast as possible. I will drop what I'm doing to get your need met because you've done everything I've asked. Now,
Absolutely.
Doesn't that make you feel better than me saying, well, I've got like 15 people that want to buy a house. I don't know if they can actually get a loan or not. So when you want to see a house, let me know and I'll try to get there as fast as possible. But, you know, I'm like running all over the place right now. This just helps you narrow in your people, right?
Yes, yes. Time is, you can make more money, but you can't make more time.
You can never make more time. Never, ever, ever. And that is the key, is how do you use your time the most wisely? So my question to the audience is, what standards have you set for yourself in your business as it relates to buyers? And really think about that, because I know that a lot of agents don't have any standards set, or maybe they haven't written them down, or they haven't said them out loud or shared with anyone. You know, we have a very specific set of standards in our business. For example, we only work with resale residential. We don't do rental. We don't do investment. We don't do any of that. So those are our standards. You have standards too. You just need to define them and then stand by them. Have conviction for them. I just did a video and it's on my YouTube channel, which I'm also going to include in my bonus items, where you see this bonus little sticker on standards, what they are, how you have them with buyers and sellers. And I think it just gives you guys some really quick ideas of what standards to have and how to put those in place. So this is the overview for the ultimate buying process. And I just want to show you here, the left side is from the time you want to buy a house to the time you fall in love. And the right side is from when you put together an offer all the way to getting the keys. So what I wanted you to see here is there's 3 things in red that kind of pop out on the page. And we're going to go over those 3 things, because this is what we give our clients. This is also what you get when you take the course and you put your logo down here and you use this for yourself. So here, let's talk about those. These are the 3 keys to buyer loyalty. 3, pre-approval with trusted lender, buyer consultation, and hire an expert buyer specialist. These are non-negotiable. These are the things that when Jenny came on, I told her, these have to happen. And we actually have a list of the name of the client, and then pre-approval, consultation, and hiring us. And those get checked off. We know that they're a VIP buyer at that point.
Beautiful.
So let's try this. This is our first video that goes out. No, this is our video that goes out encouraging our clients to go ahead and move forward with a pre-approval. And this is one of our 5 intro videos that we do.
So is this, let me ask you this, because I love video and I love what you do with video and you're very good at it. So is this a pre-recorded, or do you do a special one for each client?
Great question, Scott. What I want everyone to understand is this is pre-recorded and it does not use their name. You cannot scale that. You can't scale that. What I want you to know is when people get these videos, they feel like it's just made for them. They don't even realize that it is production, right? So that's just a limiting belief that a lot of people have, that they feel like they need to use their name and they need to make it for individual for everyone. This still feels personal, but it is scalable and it will help you save time. So let's see if let's see if you can hear it, and let's see how it does.
Hey there, I'm Amy B of the Amy B Sales Team. Thanks so much for giving us your time and attention as we go through this really important information to get you everything you need to be set up for success at buying a home. The next step that we're going to talk about today is getting pre-approved with our trusted lender. Drew Stacy with Guaranteed Rate has been our lender partner for almost 8 years. And when he says that we're going to get a and some built-in flexibility based on the amount of business and the longevity of our relationship. So that all plays in really well for you. On top of that, you've got really great rates and a lot of diversity in his programs. You may not even be aware of some of the opportunities that he has available that we might need in order to make things work for you guys. He is an amazing communicator and has a great team of quality people, and we know that when we put you in his hands, you are in great hands, and you're going to know everything that's happening along the way. He's going to communicate very well with us when we need to be communicated with. Finally, it's really important to Jenny and I that you become approved with our trusted lender. We know that he knows the questions to ask, the pitfalls, everything. So we're looking forward to hearing from you that we've secured the pre-approval. The pre-approval is a really important part of the discussion that Jenny will have with you at the buyer consultation, because there's a number of different ways that we can approach an offer, and knowing where your boundaries are with an offer or a pre-approval or your financing terms is really important. I look forward to working with you, talking with you, saying hello, having you join our real estate family. I'm always here in case you need anything, just reach out, and I know that you're in great hands with Jenny. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
That's awesome. And so she's gonna send this out too. So so we'll make sure everybody gets a copy of that. If you couldn't hear it, I could hear it. It wasn't like perfect, but I could hear it. So it was great. Yeah, it was a great intro.
I will include that on my bonus, but I'll have to send a follow-up video email from the first one, so you'll get two.
You bet.
Okay. The thing that the thing that's important about, I have a whole thing on trusted lenders and why you should give one name and all of that, and that's in my Agent Hacks page, which I'll share with you guys. Ultimately, it's easier for us as real estate agents to work with one lender that we know is going to get the job done. The systems and tools are there. You've got to sell the lender. You've got to encourage people to go to that person, because if you hand your buyer off to a lender and you know that the lender's going to do their job, that's less work you have to do, following up, chasing them down, getting communications back, all of that. And the last thing you need is a lender approving somebody and then finding out after you've done all your work that they're not actually approved, that they can't get the loan or whatever that may be. So the pre-approval is so darn important. I can't tell you more about how important the pre-approval is. If somebody tells you that they're not going to get a pre-approval before they start working with you, you move on. Move on. That's a big red flag. Do not move forward. Also, something that I just have to beat over your heads is the safety dynamic of this business, and especially working with buyers. When you have your client, go ahead.
Can I ask you a question? So a bunch of people are asking this question. So the big, I don't know if it's a myth, I don't know if it's whatever it is, but I thought I had to give more than one name when I give a lender. I hear this all the time. So coming from a real estate agent, is that true? Is it a myth? Is it false? Is it where does that lie in the I have to this or have to that if I have to give more than one lender relationship, one lender name?
Well, I only give the best. I only recommend one of everything because they're the best. Hey, how would you feel if you're a real estate agent? How would you feel if your lender gave 3 names out for realtors? I just hear it. So I don't know if it's part of the training that real estate agents go through. And I'm not debating this. I'm just saying I hear this a lot. I don't know if it's just, that's a script that we use, agents use to go, I'm just going to give 3 to not have to deal with you. And I mean, here's why I think people do that. If I can be just really honest, I think people do that to cover their asses. I think people do that because they don't know if the lender's any good, because they haven't had experience with them and they haven't demonstrated that they are accountable and will get the job done. So if I give you a name of a lender, Scott, and that lender sucks, then that's on me because I gave you the name. If I give the name, I better know that they're good, or else I'm not giving the name. But if I give you 3 names then I'm not responsible for who you choose. But that's
Yeah.
still not helping our clients fine tune and know who's the best. I'm going to give you the name of the best person. You want to use somebody else? That's on you. I can't guarantee a smooth process, but anybody that you use for me, I guarantee you'll have a smooth process.
Okay.
I talk about that at length in the financing agent hacks that I'm going to share with people. I do
very cool.
40 minutes on financing about this stuff. So here's another bonus that I'm going to share.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I only give one financial planner. I only, like one CPA. Like I just want, if I have experience with this person, I'm going to give one name. I mean, like some people are coming across, check with your state boards or whatever. Some people are saying it's a law, whatever. So whatever.
Their individual brokers may require them do something different, because they're working with agents that are newer that don't have established relationships. But, I mean, when you're giving out one name, how confident are you? Put yourself back up there for me. When you're giving out one name, how confident are you that those people are the best?
Yeah.
You know that they're going to be good, right?
100%, no question, no question.
So you don't need to
when I refer that person. Yeah, no, I don't.
No.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So
I'm on your team. I'm on your team.
Hey, and I mean, you don't have to do this stuff, and you can just run around like a chicken with your head cut off all the time.
That's right.
I'm giving you what works.
That's right.
Or if you don't use a trusted lender and you roll the dice on some random, you can have this happen.
Oh, yeah.
Your whole house could be in a U-Haul truck parked at my old office parking lot. Because you know why? The loan didn't close on time. You moved out. You have nowhere to go with your stuff. Your life is parked in a U-Haul truck in the middle of a parking lot somewhere. That's what happens when you don't take the advice of your agent. And I have this picture. You're going to get this picture. I have this picture on my wall. I mean, this is the consequences. I show this. We take on our buyer consultation a binder, and we have a picture of this in there to just kind of solidify with the buyer what the consequences are of not taking the recommendations, because this happens all the time.
There you go.
Buyer consultation, another requirement of our team, and something that Jenny started doing as a result of working with us. It's where we sit down with our client. Once they get their pre-approval, we go over the entire process. So I'll show you what that looks like. I wanted to be able to show you what this intro video looks like from Jenny talking about the buyer consultation. And just really preparing.
Now, who's Jenny? Who's Jenny? Is this another? Oh, this is the other agent. Okay.
Jenny's my buyer's expert buyer agent.
Okay.
It's Jenny. Okay, so we're getting closer to our buyer's counseling session. When we sit down, we're going to be going over what to expect when you're buying your home. I'm going to be asking a lot of questions, so I know what you're looking for, and I'm going to be listening to your needs and your wants. I also want to share with you 2 documents that I'll be going over and asking you to sign at our meeting. They're linked below in the event that you want to review them before we meet. I look forward to meeting with you, and have a great day. Thanks.
Short, sweet, to the point. Love it.
And note, she mentions 2 documents that we'll need them to sign at the consultation. And so that kind of brings us to the next step, but that's the buyer loyalty agreement. That's when they hire us. So they have this to look at before they sit down with us. And then the consumer guide, which is just standard for everything that we do for our state. So that just gives them an idea of what to expect at the counseling session and the next step that they're going to take while they're there. So this is just, and I'm going to give this to you guys and just really quickly go through it. This is the agenda that we go over at the counseling session. We make introductions, then we talk about their needs and wants. expectations, how quickly it's going to go. Right now, we're in a very, 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 very competitive market in Cincinnati. So we have to prepare them that they may end up writing multiple offers on properties before they win, and how to create winning offers. So we're doing that in the consultation. We go through the buyer process that I showed you, that map. We define their search criteria. So we have a form that we can take in their criteria. We talk about their financing, you know, if they have to buy first, if they have to sell first, what that looks like. We introduce our team, and that includes, you know, lender, title company, inspector, all of that. Go over the loyalty agreement, talk about showing expectations, when we're going to show properties, how they schedule that they need to drive by, confirm their contact information, and answer any questions. What I found, Scott, is that majority of buyers agents, or you know, agents in general, they skip the step of sitting down with buyers face to face and understanding what their wants and needs are. And then what happens, because they don't sit down and take the time up front to do this, they run around every city, every town, every whatever, guessing at what the buyer wants, and they're wasting time, money, and effort everywhere.
Yeah. Quick question, Amy. The video that you had up there, which was very, very well done, was that done in BombBomb, or was it another platform that you used to put those videos in?
My computer has an app on it called Camera. So I go to start and I press camera, I type in camera, and it records a video.
But I mean, what do you host it at? How do you send it?
And then the delivery is in BombBomb. You can also record into BombBomb just as well. Just as easily. So yes, I use BombBomb, and if anybody wants 14-day trial, I've got a link for that. You can go to bombbomb.com/AmyB and get a 14-day trial for BombBomb. That's how we set up all of our automation campaigns, our 5-point introduction campaign with our buyer's agent. It's all in BombBomb. Those videos are there.
So once it's there, it's done. And then I think, can't you in BombBomb set it up so it goes day 1, day 2, day 3, like you can automatically have it go out as a
It's called an automation, and when we do this, we do the very first one goes out the first day, and then the next day, the next day, the next day, the next day. By that time, they're in the buyer consultation. They're meeting with our buyer's agent. They've gotten their pre-approval. All of that is happening at the same time that they're getting this information.
I think it's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Automation is everything, man. Especially when it seems personal, because it's got their name on the email, right? Because you can put their name on the email and it's going to them, and they don't necessarily know that it's not like created just for them. So it's very nicely done.
And here's the thing, stop overcomplicating everything. Keep it simple.
Right.
Just communicating with them is the biggest complaint that clients have of their agent, is they're not getting enough communication, right?
Yeah.
So if you're communicating with them in an automated way, at least you know they're getting the message.
Right. And it tracks the open too. It tracks the open too, right? Yeah. So it shows if they opened it, if they didn't open it, obviously you might want to make a phone call, but I would highly recommend checking that, because then they're going to say, you haven't communicated with me, because maybe it did go to spam or whatever, but it shows you if you send out 10, you should have 10 opens.
Yeah, and then they can reference back to it when they're in the middle of the process if they want to, and it's always there for them.
Absolutely.
Yep. So
have you ever had any complaints of people communicating with people too much? That's a funny one. No, I like it'll never happen. It'll never happen. So I don't know.
When the biggest complaint is lack of communication.
Yeah, I know. Over communicate. Right.
Yeah. So the buyer counseling session is really important, just first of all, to just get on the same page with people, to explain the process. And again, this is like the kid thing, is what I call future pacing. It's telling them what they need to know. Maybe they're not taking it all in that day, but they know about it. And then when it's time to talk about it in more detail, they're going to remember that we had that discussion and we were setting them up for success in the beginning. So setting expectations, understanding the needs, all of that stuff is done here. It creates rapport. It allows people to get into a relationship and make sure that the buyer's agent is really working for the buyer's needs. One of the biggest complaints that I see, or things that I see from people, is that consumers complain because they say, well, our buyer's agent didn't show us anything we wanted to see. They just kept showing us stuff they wanted to show us. Well, it's probably because they didn't take the time to sit down and understand what your needs were.
Amen. Yeah, so important. So important to listen. Yeah.
So that buyer counseling session is the second thing that we require. And the third thing is that they hire us, hire buyer's specialist, which is a standard that we have as well. And, you know, in the course that I do, we have what's called a buyer loyalty agreement that we share with you. And it basically, explains the expectations that the client has of you and the expectations that you have of the client. And that'll go into, you know, the commission level. It'll talk about for sale by owners, new construction, short sales, that type of thing. It just sets the expectation that they're signing something, committing to you, right? Because in this market today, you know, we're having to go out and spend time and money finding opportunities for these people. The last thing we want to do is be doing this and then find out that they bought with some agent at an open house. So we want that commitment from them, and we're going to be committed right back, knowing that, you know, they understand what the expectations are. There are states that require buyer's agency agreements, that absolutely require this. There are states that require that you use their legal agreement. All I'm saying is figure out how to sign a contract with a buyer as step 3. You have a question coming in?
Yeah, somebody's asking about how long do you take to do the buyer presentation, and then do you tell them how long it's going to take? Thanks for the question. I think it was Suzanne.
Yep. So we usually say that we're going to take about an hour, depending on their questions. And again, part of that time in that consultation is getting their criteria figured out, discussing areas and wants and needs. So if they're like really big talkers, it's going to take a long time. If they're pretty concise, it'll take a lot less time. Also in our course, we provide an online questionnaire that our students can use with their clients that gets a lot of the stuff out of the way before we meet. So when we meet, we're basically just verifying, clarifying, and going over what they've already answered. And that makes this meeting a little bit faster.
Cool.
But usually this is like at a Starbucks or a Panera. It even can be in our office. You know, just depending on where it is, that's where the consultation happens. And then at the end of the consultation, you know, they've already been introduced to the buyer loyalty agreement that we're asking them to sign. And what Jenny says is 9 out of 10 times, they're ready to sign the agreement without even discussing it at the meeting. They've already read it. They've just gone through the whole consultation where they're seeing that you want to help them and their needs, and they're signing the agreement.
I like the fact that you cover the FSBO new construction short sale. I love that you cover that. I think that's so important because obviously they're going to see it, they're going to hear about it, somebody's going to talk about it. If you don't address it, like, oh, she didn't tell me about that, I wonder why. You know, like you just throw it out there on the table.
Up front. Just get it all out of the way. And so if somebody says they want short sales and foreclosures, that's not actually in our standard. So we're going to probably need to refer them to somebody else at that point. We'd rather know that now than get down the road with them. And sometimes it'll discourage them from that because they want to work with us.
Absolutely.
You know, and when we do this, so what I think is important is a lot of agents have pushback on doing this for whatever reason, but this is a business person. This is what you need to do for your business. And what Jenny said is the main objection when she gets an objection, the rare times that she gets the objection is the time frame associated with the agreement. And we have a year time frame. Most of the time we're finding them a house in 5 or 6 showings. The market has shifted.
That's awesome.
It's taking us longer because there's less inventory. So, we have a year time frame. And again, if it's not working, either of us can terminate at any time. But that's really the big objection. Most agents think the objection is like they're paying the commission if the seller is in, or whatever that might be. That's never the objection. It's always just the time frame. That's it. And most of the time they object from the time frame because they're like, if I don't find a house in 3 months, I'm going to need to renew my lease. Okay, we get it. Thanks for letting us know. This is now our goal, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So once they do those 3 things, they do the pre-approval, the counseling session, and the
I love this.
The buyer agreement. They are our VIP. And what's funny is we have this VIP criteria that we take to the list or to the buyer counseling session where we fill out their criteria, and it says VIP buyer criteria. And most of the time the buyers say, what's VIP? How do I become VIP? And it's kind of fun to just reiterate when they become VIP, what they need to do to be there, because they when they see that, they want to become that, just because it's like
absolutely
something that they want to be, right?
I love it. I love it.
And so 97% of the time when we get a buyer lead and they do these 3 things in our standard, we are closing on a property for them.
97%. Wow.
So most
That's
buyers,
amazing.
I'm going to tell you, Scott, are less than 50%.
Okay. All right.
And they're running around like crazy with people that aren't qualified or don't even know what they're doing. 97% of the time. Now, why is that not 100? Sometimes people get relocated or change jobs in the middle of looking, or get married and decide to go in a different direction. I'd say 97% pretty damn good. It's almost a shame, right?
Yeah. Is your agreement the state-specific agreements, or did you somebody Roy's asking, did you do something different? It's state-specific, right?
Well, I'm not an attorney. I have a basic buyer loyalty agreement that I created. It is not state-specific. State of Ohio does have a buyer agency form that I can use. I choose to use the agreement that I put together instead. But
Perfect.
You guys use whatever you're comfortable with, or whatever your broker or your state law recommends. Just have something signed, no matter what it is.
And it's like, hey, I'm doing business with you. It's like a handshake. Like, let's go, right? Like, let's get this party started. I've done all my qualifications. You need to become a VIP. Here's what you need to do to make it happen. When you're a VIP, then and if they go through that step, you 97% of the time, why would you not go through it? You know what I'm saying? Like, as an agent, if you don't, why would you not go through it? If you know that 97% of the time somebody goes through it, I'm going to have a buyer that's going to do business with me. So that's awesome.
Well, and a lot of agents operate in a scarcity mindset where they're like, oh, if I don't show them this house, then they're going to use another agent and I'm not going to get the opportunity. Well, you know what? If you slow them down and you explain to them why they need to get pre-approved and you need to sit down with them, you just might change the way that they're looking at buying a house, and they just might have a better experience. And that great experience, guess what? It leads to referrals, and you'll never need online leads again, because if you give people great experience over and over, and you follow a system that allows your buyers to have a great experience and great service, and you have standards and you're professional and you follow them, you're going to deliver a great buying experience. And that is going to create an over enthusiastic buyer that's going to tell everybody they know about their experience and recommend you over and over again. And again, that leads to referrals. And those are the best kind of buyers you can have. The best.
Great question coming in from Susan again. She's like, so if the buyer doesn't do any of the 3, right? Doesn't accomplish any of the 3, what happens? Like, do you stop communication with them, or obviously they're not serious, or you just keep following up until they start to get their butts moving?
We just tell them up front that these are the 3 things that they need to do. And if they're not okay with that, then we can refer them to somebody else, or they can use another agent. Very rarely does that happen, but I'm telling you, it's worth it, because we just had a buyer for the first time in like 18 months not want to sign the agreement. The buyer was looking at a price range of 60 to 400,000, 60,000 to 400,000.
Oh my
and
God.
We're like, you know what? I'm okay with that. I am not going to take somebody right now in this market that wants to see that wide of a range, doesn't know what they're looking for, and wants to run me all over town for 2 days while they're in town with a relocation and not be committed to me. No way. For 2 days, I have other clients that are going to need to see things that are committed to me and our team, and I am not going to put them aside for somebody who doesn't sign that commitment. So yes, we won't work with them if they don't follow our guidelines.
Okay. Cool.
It's a standard, and sometimes it sucks to have standards, but you got to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you think Jenny went from 40,000 to 120,000?
Absolutely. Just either you choose to do it. I mean, it's a choice, right? Either you choose to deal with all the madness, or you choose to deal with your standards. So I mean, it's really what it boils down to.
I mean, and if you stay in your comfort zone, you're never going to grow. If Jenny stayed in her comfort zone, she would have never made more than 40,000.
Right. Very good. Good point.
I love this slide. This is from KW Family Reunion last year. And it just shows right here that referrals are the best return on investment. Sphere of influence, best return. Repeat business, best return. Then once you start paying for things like online ads, the cost exceeds the return. So again, creating a smooth, predictable buying experience leads to the referrals that you need, and you pay very little for those leads. Very, very, very little. So again, like Jenny said, if you follow the process, you will make more money, you will have less stress, and you will work with buyers that you like. So really quickly, I'm going to give you guys the link for the bonus items next, but really quickly, I wanted to share with you a couple of the details on the course. It starts on March 7th, next week, and it's from 11 to 12:30 Eastern for 6 weeks. It's recorded in case you can't be at one or all. And you can get you can go straight to the invest or learn more page at amyb.com/courses. So if you wouldn't mind putting that in the chat if you have a minute.
Sure.
And again, if you choose to make this investment in the full course by Friday, March 2nd at 5 p.m., I'll do 2 30-minute one-on-one calls with any agent that signs up by Friday, March 2nd. So I'll do one before the course starts and one either during or towards the end to get that going. So go ahead.
And so what are you going to talk about? What the course is? It's live for 6 weeks, but it's okay. Cool. All right. Cool.
It's live for 6 weeks. It's also recorded in case they can't make it.
Okay.
We go through these points each week, but what I want to share that's not listed here is that we're talking about relevant items that are happening and that buyers agents need right now. Things like, how does a showing assistant work? Do I need one? How do I do it? Escalation clauses so that you can win in multiples. We talk about how you win in multiple offers, different tools and techniques that you can use. We talk about how you find and get inventory for buyers when there aren't any. We show you examples on how to write a buyer love letter with an offer. We are showing you how to do a housewarming party once the buyer moves in and give you the tools to do that. And we're also helping you get recommendations from the buyers that have had an amazing experience. So that in turn circulates back through your sphere and gets more referrals of the same type of people so that you can keep moving through this process. But there's so much content in this that you guys are going to be shocked. But that's what we teach. And you know what, Scott, it's not cheap. I'm not looking for just anyone to take this course. I'm looking for people that really want to put some skin in the game. And it's expensive because I want them to actually implement this stuff and have a better life and a better business.
Good point.
So
Amen.
not everybody's going to be able to do this, and not everybody's, you know, gonna have the tenacity to get it done. So here we go. Your bonus items. You stayed till the end. Get your bonus items at amyv.com/agent mastermind. And you will have all of the tools that I shared with you in the class today. And we can do more questions now. Scott, I wanted to let people know if they want to reach out to me directly, you can use this email, or you can shoot me a message on Facebook Messenger is usually the best way to get me pretty quickly. And this is the link to get more information on the course. And I wanted to make sure that we put both of those links in there for everybody to see. And then I'll do the
so it's amyv.com/courses. I'm putting it on the chat. I put it on the chat. Let me just click on it to make sure. Oops, there's two there. All right, there we go. amyv.com/courses. That one worked. And the other one, Agent Mastermind, I just want to check. Looks like if you click, there's down in the chat box right in the bottom right of your screen. Whoops, the Agent Mastermind one isn't working for some. amyv.com/agent mastermind. For some reason that one didn't go. So the question, here's a couple of questions. She's gonna fix it. We'll fix that. So just save it for later. We'll make sure that goes right for the extras. Let's see. Do you also set a standard for the days, hours you work with buyers? Great question.
Yes. We set that up. You know what? That link is working for me. amyv.com/agent mastermind. I just didn't capitalize it. Let's try that.
Let me see if I can use it here. Let's see.
Try that one. Do you see that one?
amyv.com.
Yep. Apparently it's the.
Yeah, it worked. That's so weird. It did work. So for some reason.
Can you delete that other one?
I can't delete it. So it's the second link. That's so weird because there's no misspellings. That's so weird. Okay.
Yeah. So yes, we have a process by which we share with the buyers how we're going to schedule showings. We encourage them to find time during the daytime because we can get them a head start, get them in the houses before the evening hours. We've got a number of ways to get them to be efficient in that. And we also do an extra step, which is we require a drive-by from the client. So we want them to drive by the property before we actually schedule a showing, just to make sure that they like the neighborhood, the street, the neighbors, all of that. Because what we find is half the time, once we get to a showing, they don't like the street or the neighbor or the lay of the land or whatever it may be. So that just kind of helps eliminate unnecessary showings and keep us very focused on the houses that we do want to see.
Perfect. All right.
Also, it's helpful to get a showing assistant to help with those hours when you're unavailable. And we help you with that too.
Awesome. Are you using an automated system to follow up? So we talked about BombBomb. So once your buyer's in the process, it's BombBomb, right? It works for you. Good. Okay. So, okay, here's a question. So if we don't have several buyers right now, would you say Facebook ads, advertising someone else's listings would be the best way? Somebody asked where you're getting your buyers from right now.
Well, when we do this course, we have a little teaser to get people to raise their hand and do the buyer counseling session. So sometimes you can get buyers from just taking the class right away. Other ways that we get buyers are just by asking previous buyers. You can hold open houses, you can do online leads. I mean, the course doesn't necessarily address getting buyers. It addresses, once you have them, making sure that they're motivated and moving forward in the process.
Does she provide editable documents? Editable.
Yes. So we have all of these documents that you put your own logo on. So the map, we have this financing do's and don'ts document that you can use. We have this awesome property report card that you can brand and they can use. We have the buyer loyalty agreement that you can brand. We have, I think, 10 or so professionally designed documents that you can put your logo on and start using immediately. And that's part of the value of the course that we offer.
All right. Looks like the links are working. I think that's all. I think we're good, Amy. Awesome stuff what you put together here. I think it's amazing. Can't wait for it to start. Next week, guys, go to amyv.com/courses. Starts March 2nd, as you see on the screen there, at 5 p.m. Get a bonus 2 30-minute calls with Amy, which is worth the price of admission in itself. She does amazing things. She's connected. Amy, I don't know if you're going to be in Kalamazoo. I think Hank's talking about June sometime. I don't know if you're going to that or not, but I would love to be there with that if I'm invited. So that'd be cool to meet in person.
That would be great.
So maybe we can do that someday. But guys, Amy's an awesome friend of mine. So if you guys are looking to take your buyer business to the next level, how to find buyers, how to communicate, how to land, use the VIP script. Go ahead and try to figure it out yourself, or you can just sign up at amyv.com/courses. And she starts March 2nd. So Amy, thank you so much for all your wealth and wisdom and success coaching people how to become more better real estate agents, of course, make more money and have more freedom at the same time. So it's pretty cool what you're doing there.
Hey Scott, I want people to have a shorter learning curve than I had. I mean, a lot of this stuff was painful for years and years. And for a very, in my opinion, for a very small amount of money, you can eliminate the learning curve. You can get all the tips and tricks, right? There's no silver bullets. Nothing's easy. You have to do it. But if you do it, there's proven results, right? You just have to do it. And I love doing this in coordination with Agent Mastermind because I know that your lenders appreciate the message about the pre-approval. It's so important. And hopefully your lenders know that they're also providing safety to the agents that get pre-approvals with them because they're getting addresses and social security numbers and all of that. And that just makes us agents feel a little bit better about working with someone that we've never met, knowing that they have taken that step to be legitimate and to get a pre-approval. It's a safety mechanism as well as a smart business thing to do.
Awesome. And what somebody's asking, do you have a listing specialist course that is that part of this? Is that in there too as well? Same link if they want to sign up for that, or is that? That's
my other course. Sell 100% of your listings. I've been on here before about that. They can go to amyv.com/courses and they're going to be met with two options: the buyer loyalty process or the sell 100% of their listings. Both classes are launching this week and next week.
Awesome. So last question I'll end with is, what stage do you start the video series with? The that you talked about today. Is it like right when you meet them? Boom, here's what that would be my guess. So yeah, okay, all right.
The immediate minute that we get an email or anything that says, "Hey, I want to buy a house." Yeah. We put them on this 5-point drip. So they may end up getting an email with an intro video from Jenny before they ever talk to Jenny on the phone based on where she's at or what she's doing at the time. But it breaks the ice and it makes that first conversation go so much better. And just using the video, it makes people feel like they know you and you establish that rapport and that trust so much faster so that when you're sitting with them at the buyer consultation, it's almost like an assumed sale that you're going to be working with each other. It's not like the first time you're meeting. It's just, it takes off so much anxiety.
Absolutely. I'm just checking here one sec.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think, somebody says the amyb.com/courses. The only thing I can think is try a different, it's working for me. And I literally copied it. Eva, I copied it right from where you posted it there. So the only thing I can think is that you're try a different browser. I don't know why it wouldn't be working, but I literally copied it from what you typed there, and it works for me. So
Yeah,
if you go to
capitalize it.
Amy,
Make sure you have an S on courses.
yeah, courses. Yeah, she did. I copied it right from what she typed in there. Okay, good. All right. So Yolanda said it worked for her. Cool. And so Eva, if you have any questions, just shoot Amy an email at amyb.com. How cool is that, man? Like, how lucky can you get?
Major
Smokes,
credit
man.
to my husband for getting that. I didn't realize I had it until 2 years ago, and he's like, "Why don't we just use amyb.com?" And I'm like, "What? I have that?"
That's so awesome. That's so awesome. Very cool. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. Amy, thank you so much for everything you do for Agent Mastermind, bringing such amazing value to the group here. Guys, if you've joined us for the first time, large group here, go to facebook.com/groups/Agent Mastermind, and we'll see you same time, same place right here on the web. Have a great day, everybody. Be safe. Get out there and make some money. Thanks again, Amy.
Thanks.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Goodbye.